Most games teach you how to play them. This one doesn't. It just leaves you to figure it out. It gives you the freedom to progress however you want. That same freedom is what made it blow up. But the more freedom players had, the more everyone played the same way, and at that point, is it really freedom? So the real question is, was the thing that made it successful also what killed it? This is... Now, before we can talk about how success killed it, you need to understand how the game actually works. You play as a merciless machine that runs on blood. No healing items, no health regen. If you want health, you have to earn it by getting in close and dealing damage. And that alone already pushes you to play aggressive. So the more violent you are, the longer you survive. Unlike some other FPS titles, this one won't hold your hand. You learn on your own through trial and error and use what you require to its fullest ability. Because if you aren't already doing that, trust me, you will need it. To give you an example, you're put up against two giant statues as your first boss fight at the end of the first layer. No matter what you do, the damage you do just won't cut it. Until you remember that you can use your fist as a melee option. And I've hid this detail for the best part. Using your fist into an oncoming attack, you can parry anything. And of course, that anything is flying swords, punches, drones, shotgun pellets, beams, homing missiles, bullets, barrages, lunge attacks, mortars, spears, harpoons, whips, kicks, glaives, charges, combos, projectiles, coins. Pause it right here. And this is where it finally clicks. Of course, the game gives you a ridiculous arsenal to use. You have a variety of guns along with their variants, like a shotgun, laser cannon, As I've mentioned before, the game rewards consistency and good aim, which reflects on your style meter, heavily inspired by Devil May Cry. But that's not the part that matters. Ultrakill doesn't just let you experiment, it rewards players who can squeeze the most juice out of it. You want to fist your way through the entire game? Go for it. Do you want to rocket ride your way to the end of each level instead of regular movement mechanics? Absolutely. You want to clip out of bounds and do whatever the fuck this is? Yes, you can. It's not even exploiting, and even the developer encourages it. Now that you have all these tools, this is where the things start to go crazy. Remember how I mentioned weapon variants a hot second ago? Here's the kicker. What if you grabbed an alternative revolver variant where you can throw out coins and hit those same coins with a rail Oh, okay. What about this? You're rocket riding, you reject your shotgun core, and you full send it with an alternative jackhammer. Oh my god, we didn't even scratch the surface, good lord. And this is the turning point for most people. A lot to take in, I understand. For the select few watching this, they just might think to themselves,
okay, the game on its own is too much for me. Isn't there a way to, like, indulge into, I don't know, the lore that can be uncovered if there's any?
In case you couldn't connect the dots so far, the lore that can be found is heavily inspired by 14th century's fictional body of work called Dante's Inferno, describing a journey through the 9 concentric circles of hell. And what do you know? The similarities and references are there. If you dig far enough and take in the scenery, you can learn so much about the world you're in, what went down in history, the enemies you encounter, and the reason why you're here in the first place. Now, obviously, I won't dig too deep to avoid spoilers, letting you do that one for yourself. And the most mind-blowing part, the game isn't even fully finished yet. Of course, theoretically speaking. As of me making this video, the 8th layer of Fraud has been released for some time now, and the game has yet to publish its last layer and additional planned content. And that is exactly what made Ultrakill explode. It felt like there was no wrong way to play, but that doesn't last for long. So why does everyone end up playing the same way? Because players solved the game. And the reason this happens so fast in Ultrakill compared to anything else is because the game doesn't hide anything from you. It doesn't gate mechanics. It doesn't force a playstyle. It just gives you everything on a silver platter, and without any forcing, it lets you figure it out. Which sounds like freedom, but what it actually does is push players to figure out what works best as fast as possible. And none of this is a bad thing by itself. This is what makes Ultrakill so impressive. But it comes with a great cost. When a game becomes this optimized, there's no room left for experimentation. And of course, this is where the speedrunners take over. I'm pretty sure everyone is familiar with the concept of trying to beat a game as fast as humanly possible. But unlike certain games that are being speedrunned on the daily, Ultrakill is the exception. A game that takes roughly 5 or 6 hours to beat gets shrunk down to barely even 10 minutes. And the goalpost, it just keeps rising. The community sets the standard, because once thousands of players discover the same best techniques, they stop being options. They become expectations. Performing insane techs and frame perfect strats just to shave off even a fraction of a second to even dare touch the top 3 spots on the leaderboards. Speedrunners push Ultrakill to its absolute limit. Players mastered its mechanics in the ways the developers never anticipated, tearing the game apart for potential skips. That community didn't just grow, it evolved, dissecting every system, every interaction, every frame of movement. And once that becomes the standard, it doesn't stay contained. It spreads like a virus, because now it starts affecting how everyone plays. Now, you might think,
okay, I don't want any part of this. I'll just do my own thing and see if I can beat my own score and times.
but that's where things get weird. Suddenly, you got people telling you what you should be doing. Now, if you don't mind me stirring up the frying pan, the Backseaters have always been a part of live gaming, but here it hits different, because when a game has a best way to play, you're expected to already know it, and if you don't, you feel behind before you even start. But after spending an inhuman amount of time in the laboratory, I came up with a scientific breakthrough of a solution, and the results may surprise you. Drumroll, please. Let people play the game. There is no correct way to enjoy any game, and I'm not trying to paint this like it's the end of the world. Everybody's different, and from someone else's perspective, you're playing it wrong. And most of the time, people aren't even trying to be annoying. They're trying to help. But there is a difference between,
Hey, try this. It's fun.
and
You should be playing like this.
notice the problem? Because the moment you assume someone isn't having fun, you've already decided your way is better. And that's the exact thing Ultrakill was built to avoid. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to attack these people, but sometimes someone just wants to enjoy a new experience by diving in head first. To quote the main developer of the game, Hakita himself, discovering things yourself is fun. No one's amazing when starting off. Let people play their own way and learn at their own pace. There is a reason the game doesn't just have pop-up tutorials for these things. You can put this tweet on your video to tell people to fuck off. So, what's the answer? You can't separate the game from the community, and you can't force people to play differently. But you can notice when something changes, because the moment your gameplay turns into a mental checklist, every single time you have to boot up a level, you're not experimenting anymore. You're not discovering anything. You're not enjoying the game to even begin with. You're just performing. And that's the part no one talks about. Ultrakill was never ruined by bad design to begin with. The game didn't change. The players did. And maybe that's what success does to it. And at that point, it's not really about freedom. And scene. Thanks for watching. I got more videos like this on the way, so subscribe and join the Discord server while you're at it. Videos like this take a long time to produce since I'm a one-man team, so for daily uploads, make sure to check out my live channel as well, link down below. Once again, thank you so much for watching all the way into the end, and I'll be seeing you in the next one. Peace.